In the heart of London, during the height of the Cold War, a single puncture wound smaller than a pinhead would expose an assassination method so sophisticated it seemed torn from science fiction. The victim carried secrets that 3 intelligence agencies wanted buried forever. But before we uncover the mystery, hit that subscribe button below. It was September 7th, 1978, just after 6:30 in the evening on Waterloo Bridge in central London. The Thames flowed darkly beneath the ornate Victorian stonework as commuters hurried home through the drizzling rain. Among them walked Georgi Markov, a 49-year-old Bulgarian dissident whose BBC World Service broadcasts had made him one of the most wanted men in Eastern Europe. Markov had been crossing this same bridge for months, following an identical route from his office to the bus stop on the South Bank. Intelligence files later revealed that his movements had been catalogued with disturbing precision. Someone had been watching, learning, preparing. The attack came without warning. As Markov waited in the queue for the number 109 bus, he felt a sharp sting in the back of his right thigh. Turning, he saw a heavy-set man in his 40s bending to pick up a dropped umbrella. The stranger muttered an apology in a thick foreign accent before disappearing into a waiting taxi. The pain was immediate and intense, far beyond what such a minor contact should have caused. Markov examined his leg and found a small red welt, no larger than a mosquito bite. By the time he reached home in Clapham, a fever had begun to set in. His wife would later describe how her husband's condition deteriorated with frightening speed. The puncture wound had developed into an angry, inflamed lesion that seemed to pulse with its own malevolent life. Markov's temperature soared beyond 104 degrees Fahrenheit. His lymph nodes swelled to grotesque proportions. Within hours, Markov was rushed to St. James Hospital in Balham, where doctors struggled to understand what they were witnessing. His white blood cell count had plummeted to dangerous levels. His kidneys began shutting down. Most disturbing of all, the small wound on his thigh had begun to emit a strange metallic odor that none of the medical staff could identify. The attending physician, Dr. Bernard Riley, had never encountered symptoms that progressed with such systematic precision. It was as if something had been specifically designed to dismantle the human body from within. Blood tests revealed nothing conclusive, yet Markov's organs were failing in a sequence that defied medical explanation. On September 11th, 4 days after the umbrella attack, Georgi Markov died in agony. His final words to his wife were a warning that the Bulgarian secret police had finally found a way to silence him permanently. The autopsy revealed the true horror of what had been done. Pathologist Rufus Crompton discovered, embedded deep in Markov's thigh muscle, a metallic pellet measuring just 1.7 millimeters in diameter. The sphere was made of platinum and iridium, metals chosen for their resistance to bodily acids. 2 microscopic holes had been drilled through the pellet with surgical precision. Chemical analysis revealed traces of ricin, one of the most lethal toxins known to science. A single grain, smaller than a particle of salt, contained enough poison to kill a grown man. The pellet had been designed to dissolve slowly in human tissue, releasing its deadly cargo over several hours. But the most chilling discovery came when investigators examined the umbrella itself. Intelligence agencies had never seen anything like it. The device had been modified with a spring-loaded mechanism capable of firing the poisoned pellet through a tiny aperture in the tip. The weapon was silent, virtually undetectable, and could be operated with a simple press of the trigger hidden in the handle. Scotland Yard's investigation quickly revealed that Markov had been under surveillance for months. Witnesses came forward describing the same heavy-set man with the umbrella loitering near the BBC offices on multiple occasions. Security cameras from nearby buildings showed him following Markov through the streets of London, always maintaining the same careful distance. The Bulgarian connection became undeniable when similar attacks were reported across Europe. 10 days before Markov's death, another Bulgarian dissident named Vladimir Kostov had been shot with an identical pellet in a Paris metro station. Kostov survived only because his thick winter coat had prevented the pellet from penetrating deeply enough to release its full dose of resin. Intelligence files declassified decades later revealed the existence of a secret laboratory in the Bulgarian mountains where these weapons had been perfected. The facility, known only as Department 12, had been developing exotic assassination methods since the early 1970s. The umbrella gun was their masterpiece, a weapon so sophisticated that Western intelligence agencies initially refused to believe such technology existed. The man with the umbrella was never found, despite an international manhunt that lasted for years. Witnesses described him as approximately 6 feet tall, with dark hair and the weathered features of someone from the Balkans. He moved with the confident precision of a trained operative, someone who had done this before. But the most disturbing aspect of the case emerged from classified documents that surfaced decades later. The ricin pellet found in Markov's body was not the first of its kind. Intelligence agencies had been aware of at least 7 other attacks using similar weapons, all targeting Eastern European dissidents living in Western cities. The victims had died from apparent heart attacks, strokes, and mysterious illnesses that doctors attributed to natural causes. Only after Markov's death did investigators begin to understand that they were dealing with a systematic campaign of assassination using weapons that left virtually no trace. The precision of the attack suggested months of planning and surveillance. Markov's daily routine had been studied in meticulous detail. His route to work, his favorite restaurants, even his weekend activities had been catalogued by unknown watchers. The location of the attack had been chosen specifically because the crowded bus stop would provide the assassin with perfect cover and multiple escape routes. Most chilling of all was the discovery that the ricin used in the attack had been weaponized using techniques that were far beyond the capabilities of any known intelligence agency. The toxin had been chemically modified to remain stable at body temperature, while slowly breaking down the protective coating of the pellet. This level of sophistication suggested collaboration between multiple governments and access to resources that even the CIA and KGB found impressive. The investigation officially concluded that Markov had been murdered by agents of the Bulgarian secret police working in cooperation with their Soviet counterparts. But classified files hinted at a far more complex conspiracy involving multiple intelligence agencies and weapons technology that would not be publicly acknowledged for another 20 years. The umbrella itself was never recovered, despite extensive searches of the Thames and surrounding areas. Some investigators theorized that the weapon had been immediately destroyed or smuggled out of the country. Others suggested that it had been returned to its creators for use in future operations. In the years following Markov's death, at least 12 other Bulgarian dissidents died under suspicious circumstances across Europe and North America. Each death appeared to be from natural causes, but the pattern was too consistent to be coincidental. The umbrella assassin, it seemed, had not retired after completing his mission on Waterloo Bridge. The case files remain partially classified to this day, with entire sections redacted or marked as too sensitive for public release. The official explanation maintains that Markov was killed by a lone operative using a sophisticated but ultimately conventional weapon. The reality, as suggested by the evidence, points to something far more sinister and far-reaching than any government has been willing to admit. What do you think really happened to the umbrella assassin after he disappeared into that London taxi? Subscribe to uncover more cases where the official story barely scratches the surface of the truth.